Hey everyone, it's Lexi here with your Saturday Project Life video here at Two Peas in a Bucket. And I'm just going to start off by showing you a planner that I bought just specifically for Project Life. That's the only thing I plan to record in it, jotting down some notes, maybe while I'm sitting down watching TV or at night before I go to bed, of pictures I took that day or things I want to remember to include that week. And then I can just jot down here in the notes section an idea of maybe where I want those pictures to go and some of the supplies that I want to use or try to use for that week. Here's my layout, kind of an idea. I have my pictures printed off of how I think that I want to have them, but you will see that that changes because I'm just not for sure where I want things to be. Here are some cards that my 7-year-old little guy drew for me, and having journaling cards or little blank notes by their art supplies is a good way to get some drawings out of them that will just slip right into your little page protectors there. You can see I have the shot that everybody has in January of working out, yay! And I might not use that one. I actually don't end up using that one because I can use that photo any time of the year. Hopefully I'll still be working out then. This is the We Are Memory Keepers. These little sections are 4x4 and they're great for putting in extra Instagrams that you may not use on your other spread. I just plan to use a 12x12 side and not do a double page spread each time. That may or may not change. We'll see. Here I found this little foam tree that the boys had been doing a craft with that fell off, so of course I keep it and I'm going to be able to use it this week in my Project Life. I had this little paper or this little file here of extra papers that I pulled when I saw what my pictures were going to be of some patterns I thought might work, and my little caddy of supplies that I was hoping to use this week. I don't have a fancy Project Life setup, but it works for me for now anyway, for this first month. We'll see as we go along if I get any more organized or have it in any other way. I'm just going to trim this pattern paper here for one of my slots. Trimming it here. And I'm just playing around with the placement with the little foam embellishment I stole out of the trash. And you know you're a scrapbooker when you steal things out of the trash. And I had some extra little vellum snowflake left over that I had punched out. So you will see that I stapled through the wood veneer pieces. It's kind of a softer wood and I've never had a problem stapling through them. And also I'm trimming little threads because what I'm editing out is that I go to my right side and I type down my journaling on my vintage typewriter, and I go to my left side and I sew. I just can't not sew on my projects. So added a few of those enamel dots that I totally love, and that one is good to go. So up here I have two, a picture and a little, kind of like a little title side by side, but I had this cameo cut that I kind of wanted to use, so I'm just trying to see if I think that would fit a little bit better because I just really wanted to use it. So I do, and I sew that down. You can see all the threads starting to pile up. And doing a little trimming there. It's good to have, if you have a Cameo or a die cut machine, if you go ahead and cut just some neutral, generic type things you can see in the upper left hand corner. I have some of those because you never know when they might work, and it's when you get a rhythm going, it's harder to stop and cut stuff from your Cameo. So if you have a little pile there, it's easier, I think. So I added a little hearts, and now I'm trying to decide what else I want to put with it. I ended up putting a little shiny star sequin there. I'll come back to that one in a little bit, but I sewed down that little sequin because that was our, I think that was New Year's Eve. We were dancing in the kitchen, so I thought the little star sequin kind of went with New Year's Eve. I don't know, that's just what I thought. Here's my cute little Yoda McCranky Pants having a not the best morning. He ended up having a good rest of the day, in case you're wondering, but just layering that down. I tend to off-center my photos, so I have a little space to play with. Here you can see I'm trying to decide if this washi tape is going to work and sticking it on my photo, and I end up not using it. These little grid cards, I'll link them up after the video, are perfect for layering, And I used those a few times in this one. Here's a little October afternoon label that I typed on. And now I'm going to use a new, one of the newer embellishing stamps, this Insta Love stamp. It's, sorry about the video shaking there. It's getting really excited getting that ink on. And I'm going to stamp that down. I'm kind of a messy stamper, probably because I'm not a very exact scrapbooker to begin with. So I kind of messy stamp, and I'm okay with that. I decided I did want some washi, but I wanted some stars. I tend to use stars a lot. Having two boys, I use stars quite a bit in my scrapbooking. So, and I think Amy Tan had said that she's lazy and just folds over a washi tape. I totally do the same thing. I'm just trying to decide where I want to place it, so I stamp that. And those stamps do a great job. These new Kelly Perky designed stamps, exclusive to Two Peas in a Bucket. I've been wanting to use that set, and they have some really cute arrows. I wanted to carry the arrows over, and I'm just trying to see my placement here. The arrow on the Insta Love stamp is not pointing to the photo, which doesn't really bother me, but because I had these other two single arrow stamps, I wanted to ink those up and kind of make those go point at the photo instead of away from it. I have that stamped at the bottom, and then I'm going to take the smaller one and try to decide where I'm going to go with it. I decided to go at the top because it was kind of blink up there, and of course an odd number is always good in a design, so hopefully that'll help balance it out a little bit. I do take that card away, and you can see I sewed on it a little bit. I'm addicted to the sewing machine on paper. I can't help it. I go ahead and slip these in, and I don't know if I end up showing it or not, but I do end up adhering them to a solid sheet so that they don't slide around. Actually, yeah, here I go. I'm going to add the New Year's Eve to it. And this cute little Maya Road heart house clip, I wanted to use that because we spent New Year's Eve at home that night, just as a little family, doing a little pajama dancing because we were still in our pajamas at night. So that's all right. There's a little loop there in the heart, so it's perfect for tying a little baker's twine through. This little card was one that my 4-year-old little guy, he drew me a bird. And so of course I had to keep that. So I'm going to adhere it to the Studio Calco little speech bubble type pattern paper. And something I've really been excited about are these squeeze punches, these new Jenny Bolin squeeze punches. I haven't bought a squeeze punch, or a punch for that matter, in quite some time because I do use my Cameo for most of those things, but it's just too convenient on a project like this to be able to do something quick. So what I did was I typed on my pattern paper and then was able just to put it into the little punch and squeeze it out. And of course that would have been a lot more difficult had I typed on pattern paper and then tried to cut around it with my Cameo. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I'm probably not smart enough to figure it out. So this works a lot quicker for me, and I love the generic shapes that these new punches are, that you can use them with anything, and especially Project Life, I think. So I sewed a little bit more on that one, and it's down there. This little, I don't know what you would call it, card in the lower right hand corner, it kind of gave me fits. I really wanted to use that Let's Pretend because the photo is of my son pretending to be a spy, and he had sent me a secret message, top secret message in this drop capsule, which says I love you, and of course that's just precious. So I wanted to remember that, so I wanted to record it, and I tried to use that portion of the Let's Pretend from the Knock Knock pads of paper. I love those pads of paper, but this time you'll end up seeing I just can't make it work. So I'm going to go to my little Cameo cut corner I have going on in the upper left-hand side And I keep trying because I really want it to go there. And I could have stuck it there. I mean, it's no big deal. It would have looked fine. And years from now, it's not gonna matter whether it was there or not. But I didn't end up doing it. I have this red and orangish paper that I end up using instead. And I layer it underneath the little die cut. And I have some reddish orangish going on in the upper left-hand corner, so that kind of goes along with it. I'm going to use these basic gray alphabets here to put like a little mini title, I guess. I'm noticing as I'm watching this that I'm kind of using some of the same colors, the aquas and the orangish reds and some greens. And that's interesting to me because I certainly didn't plan it like that. But those are colors I tend to gravitate towards anyway. I typed on the back of the star, the October Afternoon's gray and white star paper, and I sewed a little box around the journaling that I had wrote there. I've actually been taking these little journaling from Twitter, my Twitter feed, and Facebook updates, and that makes for super quick not having to think about what happened that day or to think of something else to say. Just quotes from the boys and things like that. This stamp set also has a cute little envelope, and so since this was top secret mail that I had received, I thought that that stamp would be perfect for it. I kind of like to do the two stamps, the one dark stamp and then the lighter stamp with it, just right beside it. It's kind of messy and not perfect, which is perfect for the way that I scrapbook. So there is that. I'm just going to, for time's sake, show you that I used that stamp that in the exclusive Kelly Perky to stamp on one of those grid sheets that I'll link up. Those are perfect for sliding in, just with a little trimming into that size right there. And here's a little printed off from Hello Forever. Just was able to type right on that and add a little bit. I added that to the little bird drawing that my son had done. And here you can see where I put my extra Instagrams in those 4x4 sectioned from We Are Memory Keepers. And I was going to trim it down the side and just have 3, but I'm just going to leave it like that because I bet I have other Instagrams later on. So I just used my date stamp for that, sewed it down with some washi. I think those are perfect little squeeze punches to be able to put date stamps with on the side of your photos or journaling cards. Just a little explanation of the pictures, a little wicked bedhead there with some vellum stars. The cover of my album. Thanks for joining me this Saturday.